Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Aquarius. And our card tonight is the Strength card. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. Also, if you would like to help the channel anyway, give it a little like, or you could leave a comment. I read them all. They mean the world to me. So let's see what we got going on here. And I'm just going to apologize. I'm congested. I had the flu the last few days. So I think I'm over the main part of it, but I'm still just on and off stuffed up. I tried to prep myself for doing my readings, but, it just didn't get everything out of me. So anyways, we have this cat. Let's take a look at the cat. You can see its side profile. It has an eye right here. It has the ear right here. Now, if we turn this a little ways like this, it reminds me of a house on a cliff near the ocean. Okay, so first I want to look at it as the cat. And now, the cat for me almost always indicates that we have this sense of individuality, independence. You have a spirit of I do what I want, right? Which is wonderful. It is. I do feel like at times it can be difficult for you maybe to connect to people. I feel like it's like you have the desire, right? You really want to get closer. You really want to be able to have these like deep and rich and fulfilling relationships. But, it just time after time, even in your long-term kind of, family, maybe a spouse or a long-term partner, you hit these walls. And I think that there's just this desire to kind of be able to connect on a deep level. I mean, just something that it's expansive and kind of like what we imagine a soulmate, right? Now, I'm of the belief that soulmates appear in a lot of different ways. We don't have just one soulmate in our life. But a lot of people in our, like, my daughter is my soulmate, 100%. The moment that, I feel like she was conceived, I knew that she was my soulmate. And we can have romantic soulmates and good friends and, and so on. You understand. But I think that there's, there has to be, even within these relationships, there is a certain dance we do, right? To kind of get to these deeper levels of connection, to kind of activate the different spheres of love and understanding and communication. That's a big thing, communication. And I feel like, there's just, you might have your soulmate. You might have soulmates in your life. But I just feel like that it's like you've really struggled to get to a place that, it feels, have you ever felt that? Well, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But have you ever desired that feeling of kind of getting so close to somebody that you don't really know where you end and they begin, and they begin and you end, you know? And this is not a sustainable state of connection, but it is one that I think we all desire, right? We all desire in some way. Now, Jung would say, right, this is kind of our drive to unify with our different aspects of self. Okay, the anima, the animus, and the shadow, and the archetypes, and all of these, different areas of intelligences within ourselves. And but we also can most definitely feel the same pull towards our relations to others. And so I look at this and I feel like, there's a sense of, longing for that. If you can imagine kind of a cat there out in the night searching for their partner, and when they are confronted with another cat, probably, immediately there's that kind of recoil and maybe even a bit of a fight, right? A bit of a quarrel, and all the things the animals do to figure out, like, is this a friendly friend, or is this going to be somebody who I have to fight with over territory and position and so on. So, I feel like this is one of the big things of your life. And I feel that there's probably been situations where you felt like, yeah, I'm really close. This is it. This is the person that I'm going to get to this place with. But when when all is said and done, it kind of, for one reason or another, doesn't really kind of end up the way that you envisioned it. Now, I see the house here by the ocean, and I have a sense of like this kind of very solitary. I'm thinking of like, I was just a few months ago now, I was watching a documentary about Newfoundland, right, in Canada. And this is over on the eastern side of the continent, just north of Maine, and their population is dwindling. Okay, so a lot of these places all over the place, getting smaller and smaller. A lot of people moving towards city centers and so on. And, they were showing pictures or videos of kind of aerial views of these homes out here, on the island, really close to the cliffs, and the grass is, stretching out forever and green, and then the ocean so blue and cold, and the houses look kind of, standing there alone, isolated. And that's my dream, by the way. This is like sings to my heart. But, for some people, I think that this is, just its own kind of prison. It's so, you could be surrounded in beauty, but it feels like you're so very alone, right? And I think in some ways it feels like this at times. And that's not to say that you don't have a good relationship with yourself, I think that you probably do. I think most Aquarius people that I have ever had the pleasure of getting to know, actually one of my very best friends, my most beloved friends, is an Aquarius. And he is wonderful, by the way. very developed interests, very, developed skills, and interesting and, somewhat eccentric people in general, but in such a way that's, charming and there's a magnetic kind of energy, just like such a creative mind, right? But I feel a lot of it comes from this kind of feeling of being out here in this vastness alone, being acutely aware of it, and filling your life with things that kind of soften that feeling, keep you busy, make you feel something, sensations and impressions and things that I feel are like quite emotional, right? And I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, I find this to be such an attractive way of living. Now, I'll also say that I'm an Aquarian moon. So I do have, I guess, I'm thinking now, I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense because, yes, I do have these aspects, these like emanations of some of the things I'm describing, but I just, I talk about this and I feel like there's this desire to connect, but it's not sad. I think at times you can definitely lament it, but it's not sad because it's kind of, you are able to kind of navigate this life without needing other people so close. You don't rely on that many people. And if any at all, right? You're brave. You'll go out there into the night. You'll do the thing that's difficult. You will, you'll follow that, whatever your instinct is, even if you don't have a bunch of people who have your back. You're not a person that needs all of that. And now most of the time, I think people would think, oh, that's really sad. Like, you don't have a lot, you don't have a lot of, friends or I don't know, just people that you feel very close to. But I don't think it's a sad thing. I don't think it is. In fact, I think that, it's very much your strength. But that doesn't mean that sometimes you don't wish for at least one of these relationships that are so very close. And it's also not to say that you've never had that, but I think that, of course, like I said, it's not sustainable to be that close to somebody forever. You just can't do it. I mean, maybe you can, but I've never experienced it for long periods of time. So, and I don't think that I've ever seen anybody else live that way for, forever and ever and ever, right? We all go through our seasons with people. Now, let's take a look. We also have, it looks like a bowl right here, okay? And the bowl is over here with the kind of, the head down, right? The head is kind of down. But then we have people kind of sitting on top. And then over here, it looks like we have a face that's kind of, that would be the hind end of the bowl. But it looks like we have a face that's kind of a sad face. But we have people here and here as well. This one looks like it's offering something up to this bird. This one looks like it has a child. So I kind of feel like there is a sense of, yeah, just like kind of a melancholy. And, you know, I'm thinking, I had the 7 of discs yesterday, and I was thinking about Taurus and Saturn and this bull, you know, the bull, when it is defeated, when it feels defeated, it perceives itself as being defeated, being in this kind of bleakening place. And I feel like it's like, there are times where I just feel like there's a lack of clarity here, where there are so many, maybe, you know, beautiful things happening in life, but it is just overtaken by this, you can imagine like a beast, something that is so powerful and good at what it does, and has this real clear understanding of its place in life. It's what it, you know, what it wants, what it does, what it's able to do. And then when there is this loss, this defeat, losing that belief, kind of it falling away. And even if there are the children, the grandchildren, you know, the beloved partner, the parent, your parents, the you know, your friends, or you know, those trying to help you and uplift you and give you the messages, but none of it really penetrates that feeling of loss and grief, or just kind of, you know, almost like a depersonalization, or feeling quite disenfranchised in your own life. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what do I do? What do I do to get out of this? You know? And I feel like this is kind of when you really do go further into yourself. You get into that cat mode where you're out there, you know, an outdoor cat, right? In the night, kind of wandering beneath the moon, doing what cats do, hunting and surveying and everything else. And kind of the further away you get from these entanglements with other people, which, you know, I mean, I don't mean to belittle the idea that your family, you have a child and, you know, a spouse or whatever, that's an entanglement. But, you know, as far as like us as human individuals, yeah, we're entangled with those who are in our life. But when you have the time to kind of wander away from these responsibilities and these, you know, the mundane things that we do, where we begin to lose ourselves sometimes, right? We can lose our identity, lose our sense of self, become so much wrapped up into the unit, right? This is where I feel you regain some of your composure, your strength, is by giving yourself some time to go and do the things that you want to do. Find something beloved. You yearn for this deeper connection, you know, and maybe that is with another person, but it can be met with other things as well, okay? Finding a new hobby, going into the hobby that you have been neglecting and spending time there, giving yourself, you know, the allowance to be alone for a while. You know, even if you're doing nothing, if you're, you know, whatever, sitting and staring at the wall, staring out the window, taking a nap, allowing yourself to, you know, and it feels a little selfish, but, you know, I think that when you begin to feel run down in this way, you get into that, you know, just you can imagine this massive, powerful thing like coming down to its knees and defeat and exhaustion and yeah, the beginnings of maybe a depressive episode. You know, you have to do something for yourself. You have to give yourself something to combat this. And I do. And I feel like this is a place where there is, and I'm seeing other signs of contemplation as well here. Now we have, it looks like the heron, or maybe it's the egret, or, you know, one of these tall birds. And for me, whenever I see them, they very much are this idea of stillness and quiet and peace and patience. Okay, taking time to reflect upon, you know, to contemplate and to allow yourself to be in oneness, right? And to be interconnected with the things around you, but nothing so directly, right? Not being in a loud crowd of people, but, you know, being, I can imagine going and sitting outside on the back lawn in a chair and just staring at the trees for a little bit. Might sound kind of boring, but, you know, to me it sounds amazing. But, you know, these moments where we can just kind of stare off into the nothing, stare off into the universe, and let the thoughts come and go as they will, like little clouds that like to visit us for a moment, and then they keep passing. We don't hold on to them. We don't judge them. We just let them come and go. Okay. Now we also have, it looks like a chair and a head right here kind of sticking up. It reminds me of like a donkey head maybe, but also another sign of that sitting and contemplating. Having a moment to think for, you know, just by yourself. Now we have an A, so maybe an A name. Oh, yes. And we have, it looks like 20, so 20 as a number. Also a 2 over here. Actually, 3 2s. So 3 2s. And we have also the 20. And this one looks like 50, so 50. Those are our numbers for this reading. All right, let's take a look here. We have 71, and then we have 17 right here. We have a piece of corn, the most sacred mesa, maza. I always like seeing the corn. My tribe, the Choctaw, corn is, and a lot of indigenous to the North America's, you know, tribes and peoples. Corn is the most sacred thing. So when I see that, to me, it is not only abundance, but it is a sense of. It is a gift from God, right? A gift from the universe. It is, you know, being bestowed this most, a thing that gives sustenance to a whole group of people, okay? Something that grows in abundance, something that can be used for many things. And so I look at this and it feels like not only is it abundance for yourself, it's abundance for your family. your local community, those you work with. And so this is a time where, you know, we hope, we pray, you know, the world is in chaos, as it always is, right? No different than any other time. It's always in chaos. But, you know, it is a time when things are so very expensive. And, you know, I know a lot of people, we're worried about what are we going to do? How are we going to navigate all of this? Now, I see this and I think, you know, there will be opportunities here for you to kind of stabilize financially, opportunities for, you know, you to help provide for your family. And I know that's something that is important and constantly on our minds. You know, if you are an adult and you're paying bills, yeah, we're all thinking about it, aren't we? So this is a really beautiful sign. So the corn above all is one of my favorite signs to get here. Now, we'll have something that looks like a portal here, or a porta, an entrance, a door, a window, something to go through. And I feel, and it's funny because it's been in the psyche, right? We had this art installation that got shut down. It was between New York and Dublin, and of course, people were misbehaving. I read something, though, that I thought was quite interesting. Somebody had said, you know, well, I don't know why they took it down. Why are we putting morality or our ethics on something like this, or telling people what they can and can't do? Now, listen, to some degree, yeah, I get it. But but anyways, what he had said was, when you put a mirror to society, to the world, and then you tell them don't be that way. Don't act that way. You know, this is unacceptable, whatever this base and natural state is, right? It's hard to understand. Is it time for us to change how we perceive ourselves, or do we continue to try to police one another? Now, I am torn, right? Maybe before I was a mother, I would have said, whatever, let people do whatever they want to do. Now, you know, I'm a mom. I don't like to police people at all. But I also understand this is a public space, okay? So I guess looking at this, I'm seeing it's kind of this almost, it can be a jarring experience to see things as they are, or in one way as they are. You know, things are always many ways. There are many perspectives. But, you know, I think a lot of times we go through our lives and we kind of, you know, we're into the things we're into, and we believe the things that we believe, and, you know, a lot of stuff doesn't have anything to do with us directly. So, you know, we might feel something about it, but then we go on with our lives and whatever. But then when a mirror is really put up to life, the collective, and we are able to kind of see not only the good things, right, but also the shadows, and, you know, these kind of, like I said, base and profane and even aggressive and predatory and all of that. You know, what do we do with that? What do we do? What would you do? What do you do with that in your life? You know, and we have to decide, you know, and it's a case by case thing, but so often it's like, do we just accept this? Do we hide this from ourselves? Do we like push it down and think, that's something I do not want to think about, you know? You know, do we rationalize it? Do we try? It's hard. It's hard to know. It's hard because it's a lot. It's a lot. But I feel like this is maybe part of the overall vibe here, is this sense of really kind of being confronted with the reality of things, you know, and that can be freeing, of course. It can also be quite hurtful. It could be scary. It could be, you know, something that we just don't have that psychic and emotional bandwidth at that moment to deal with. You know what I mean? You know, I'm often guilty of this. I don't like to watch the news. I don't, you know, I don't necessarily try to invest too much on things that are going on outside of my realm of understanding, and for better or worse, right? But you know, as I've said here before, I truly believe that the way that we begin to shift anything, right, is not being out there telling everybody what to do or how to live or getting involved in things that, you know, they're important, of course, but if we took the time to work on ourselves and our families and how we live, how we love, our relationship with those who are directly in our lives, and cultivating an atmosphere of healing and you know, belovedness among ourselves and the people directly around us. It is like a cell within this greater whole, beginning to heal itself and protect itself, right? And it is something that it spreads out, you know, further and further. And, you know, it's hard because I know there are a lot of people out here. And when I was younger, I felt very moved to go out in the world and change things and, you know, talk to people and hope that I change their mind about something. And, you know, and all of that is well and good. And that's maybe, you know, maybe that's the work of somebody else, maybe not for me. But what I have found is that living the life that I'm living, working diligently at, you know, stopping cycles of abuse within my family, working on mental health, having these conversations, not telling you what to do, but talking to you about what can be done, or, you know, my own experience and the experience of others. And, you know, I found that it's brought a lot of healing into my life, not only my own, but the people around me. Now, I'm not healing for them, but I'm healing alongside them. And it's not always beautiful. It's not always perfect, but I feel that this is maybe one of the ways, right? And it's worth trying, I think. It's worthy work, right? So, you know, take that for what it is. And, but I see this kind of real, it's a mirror upon ourselves. And with this solar energy, it makes sense, right? That's what I was laughing about the most about this portal art exhibit, is that of course it would be open during all of these solar flares when this illumination of that solar energy is just so abundant. And of course it would be like, you know, thankfully there was no violence, I don't think. You know, but there was, you know, bad behavior, I would say. And, well, I'm not going to say bad behavior. There was, behaviors that maybe shouldn't be, done in the open, right? And yeah, it makes perfect sense that it would be going on during these wild solar flares. So anyhow, Aquarius, you know that I love you. And thank you for spending this time with me. We're going to do just these oracle cards here. These are the Wild Offering oracle cards. I love the advice they have on these ones. I might never stop using them. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and we're just going to turn it over. It says independence. Okay, there we go. We started off with the cat and independence. The more you learn to feed yourself on the inside and care for the inner child, the more freestanding you become. Help me feed and love this inner child, dear Lord. Perfect. Yeah, we're on one today. Everything is, it feels so like it's connecting. Everything is connecting. It's not the Theraflu I took, I promise. Although, yeah, it makes me feel a little weird, but yeah. I drank so much tea today. I had that, the throat, what is it called? The throat, whatever kind of tea. And it's, what is the stuff that's in it? I don't know. But it's real, like, thick, right? And it coats, throat coat. Yeah, that's what it's called. And not my favorite. Not my favorite, but I do use it, especially when I don't feel good. And I had Theraflu. I had some chamomile tea. And I had, there was something else. I forget, but yes, I've been just a lot of lemon and honey, and just trying to get it together. Now, I don't really have a sore throat so much, but it gets really scratchy when I'm talking a lot. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to drink these tea. I have another reading, and then I'm done with tea for the rest of the day. I'm done with it. So anyways, I love you, Aquarius. Thank you for letting me ramble. Thank you for letting me do this reading. If you want to like the video, if you want to subscribe, if you want to leave a comment, please do all three or one or the other or whatever. Also, I have a post up in the community section for those who have businesses, channels, services that they want to advertise. Please go over there and put your info up. It's a free place to do it. My husband and I, shout out to Devin Serpentero, who's super sick, by the way. Poor guy, he's in bed right now. Really sick. And anyways, he puts up the same post. And we like to do it because we want to share our platforms for other people who are growing their businesses and channels. And hopefully you'll get some new viewers or subs or clients or, customers or whatever. So go and do that. And also, if you don't have something to post, just go over and look at the post, because there are a lot of people who are very talented putting up their channels and their businesses, their artwork. And I've seen there's a lot of poetry, which I'm super excited to go look at. If you've watched my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of poetry. And so, yes, go and check that out. Let's all support each other, okay? All right, I love you, Aquarius. We'll talk real soon. Good night.